Hey y'all, it's your girl Breezy, and I'm back with another review to run my mouth about. In watching Thousand Pound Roomies, there was an ad for Match Me Abroad, so I decided I was going to review it. I'm a little bit late with it because the first episode came on last Sunday. I'm gonna watch the new episode today, catch up, and I'll probably get that to y'all about Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. Anywho, before I get into the review, be sure that you subscribe to the channel on the way to 2K, moving up in the subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Come back and hear me run my mouth and see my, opinion on things. I'm reviewing Thousand Pound Roomies. I'm doing Match Me Abroad. I don't know if the microphone is going to cut out the raining, but I am on my porch recording, so you may hear a little rain in the background. Actually, let me test and see if that's gonna be there. Hold on. Okay, I just had to double check about that rain. Let me move that up. Anywho, and then I just do other stuff on here, y'all, as far as videos. So I do voiceover videos because I just sometimes on social media having a good time. You might see me do a dance trend. So y'all be sure to subscribe. That's the whole point. Um, Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and go ahead and share it with somebody. They can come and join me and have a good time. I'm not gonna be before you long on this review. So Match Me Abroad. This is season 2, episode 1. Okay. So the reason why I want to review it is because I'm single, and I thought it was interesting that these people are going out of the country to be matched, right? So that's a question I want y'all to drop down in the comments and let me know. Would you travel abroad to another country to meet other singles who are looking to be matched and try to find love? I thought about it and it's going to be a no for me because I just feel like I know I don't want to move out of the country. I don't have that desire. Is kind of toe up as our country. It's toe up as our country is. I don't have a desire to move out of the country, and I don't want to gamble on if somebody else is going to want to also move out of the country. So it's like, really, what is the point? There are three. I saw the preview for the next episode. There's going to be more people, but this episode was only for 3 singles. Amber, Maria, no, not Maria, Monica, and I think his name is Harold. We'll talk about each of them individually. The first person we're going to talk about is Amber. So Amber, she's a black lady. She's from Fort Worth, Texas. She's 38. And she just was saying how she feels like the men in the U.S. like to play games. They like instant gratification. They're not looking for something long term that you have to build on. And I felt like throughout her discussion about U.S. men, which I feel like men, no matter. I just felt like it was like maybe you didn't get outside of your city. And maybe that's, like, why are we going out of the country to go get love? Like, you live in Texas. 2 of them live in Texas and one lives in California. You can't go to Georgia to see if you can find love in Georgia, or go to New York to see if you can find love in New York, or go to, like, what about out of the state? How do we jump all the way from Texas to where Amber goes to Ireland? Very interesting. So she goes to Ireland and she meets with her matchmaker, Katerina. And Katerina is actually from Prague. And baby, Katerina is bringing in the dollars because Katerina travels to help her clients. Like, she's from Prague, but she's going to Ireland to help matchmake um, Amber with men in Ireland. And she travels all over. And actually, when we talk about Harold, Katerina was his matchmaker on the previous season, where his little situation didn't quite work out. So Katerina get money, honey, traveling around and matchmaking people. Okay. So she meets Katerina. Amber's personality is like real bubbly. She's real like smiley, and she got really big hair, and you get to actually see her personality when they have this event Katerina sets up for all of her clients that she's helping. And just when she gets there and she's talking to the men, she's just so bubbly and so just like energetic and stuff. And so Katerina already, because they've talked before she's gotten to Ireland, the matchmakers are talking to the people before they come, to get a feel of who they are. So she's already talked to Amber, and she said that Amber is a little bit impatient and, basically like kind of overzealous in a sense, and that the men in Ireland are more slow, a little bit more patient. So she actually has some concerns about how Amber is going to basically acclimate to dealing with the Irish man. We also found out that Amber at some point had been engaged 3 times, and she said she felt like they weren't engagements of like love and finding her one. It was convenience and her having low self-esteem. So she's hoping that this time she gets there. And then again, just like even this, it was just a conversation she was having about the men from the US, because when she gets to the mixer, I thought it was really cool. Like, I'm a more reserved person in that sense, so I don't know if I would be able to go to that mixer how she did. And she just immediately was having conversations with the guys, like laughing with them and joking, and just being real personable. And her personality was like shining. So I thought that was cool when she got to the mixer. And so Katarina said she wants for the dates to, she paired them off. And she was like, she didn't want them to talk to each other because she wants them to get out of their head, not worry about those questions that you ask when you're trying to like get to know someone. She just wanted them to kind of feel the energy, get into the spirit of the person. So Amber got matched up with Ross first, and they're doing this dance exercise. The point was for the women to allow the men to lead. And honey, Amber failed in that particular exercise because he couldn't dance, but she wasn't allowing him to lead. So since he was kind of hesitant and he expressed that he really didn't dance, she just kind of took over. And Katarina came over there. She's like, well, he's supposed to be leading. She was like, well, he can't dance. And she was like, that's really kind of not the point. So she puts them into another exercise. And this dude, Kevin, which I thought was a cool name, it's to not talk. It's just to put your hand on the person's chest. Oh, the microphone. Put your hands on the person's chest and y'all stare into each other's eyes and you just feel the energy and feel what's coming off of them and just see what kind of connection. And they really did have a connection. Like, you could see that the way they were looking at each other was just like, oh, it was really, you could feel it through the screen. So, the only thing about it was Katarina kind of felt like that the energy was really like, she was like, you can feel the energy between them two, but she was like, she was nervous because she gets to feel that Amber falls into love too quickly. And so she, like, I think rushing, and also probably because Amber's 38, she's, getting to that point, she's about to be 40. She might feel a little anxiousness about like, I need to be married. I need to have somebody who's headed in that direction. So I could get that particular feel off of her, and Katarina probably feels that too. And she's like, I'm nervous about her just falling too fast when you're not really like getting to know the person and seeing is it really going to work. Which it sounds like, she needs to calm herself down from that behavior, because it may be why you ended up being engaged 3 times before, and you said you felt like it was because of low self-esteem, not having that pressure. And I mean, as women, that pressure is out there, but you have to really just be okay with like, no, like if you are a person that wants to be married, like, no, I'm not married now, but my time will come, not being in a rush for that. Doing those things actively put yourself out there, but at the same time, not feeling like shame because you don't have a husband, you don't have a man. Like, they come and go, honey. Okay. So that was Amber's story. So, and I'm just grouping all of the stories. Like, when you watch the episode, they chop up the stuff that's going on. I just group everything together. So I'm telling you everything that happened with Amber. Now we're gonna talk about Monica. Miss Monica. She's from California. How old Monica? Monica's 41. Monica is 41. She's from um, Newport Beach, California. And Monica's looking for a man. Monica has a 21-year-old daughter who is a basketball player at some college. I can't remember the name of the college they said. And she has a cat and a dog. And I thought when we first met Monica that the reason she might be single is because she talks to her animals, but then talks back in the response to herself as the animal. So, for example, she when she got up in the morning, she was in the kitchen, she's fixing breakfast. The cat is all on the table, which I was like, girl, yeah. Um, so let me just this I'm gonna go on a tangent when I say this. My dad's second wife, she was, and she had two cats and a dog. I think she had two cats and a dog. And that was one of my worst summer visits ever. And not because I didn't have a good time with the things we did. I think because she had a little guilt in her. She brought me all kinds of at that time I was so into New Kids on the Block. She brought me all these books out. We went to the base And there was all these books, like each one had an individual book about each of the members, and it told you like their name, their age, their favorite color, and all that kind of stuff. And so I had a good time visiting. However, cat hair was everywhere. And the cats used to just be able to roam everywhere. And it just really annoyed me. And so when I see people who allow their cats to walk on the counters, it's just, but I digress. So she was like, how you doing this morning, baby? And she was like, I'm fine, mommy. I didn't sleep very well. So she's actually having a conversation with herself and her cat and dog, but she is the person that is asking the question and also responding to the question as the animal. And I was wondering if, like, are you exhibiting this behavior in front of men? Because a lot of people gonna find that weird. I mean, unless you find, I guess, another weird cat animal guy. But okay, girl. So, um, like I said, she has a 21-year-old daughter, and her daughter wants her to find someone because she's like, girl, you need company, obviously, because she's talking to the dog and the cat. You need company. You need somebody to be here with you. I'm not gonna be coming home all the time from school, and I don't want you to be lonely. I want you to have someone. I want you to, be in love and all of those good things. So Monica is going to Brazil. Monica's going to Brazil, and she said she chose Brazil because the men are fine, and um, I don't disagree with her. Um, and she feels like because in Brazil they are heavy Catholic faith, that she'll meet somebody that's on her same level religiously. She takes her religion serious, and so she wants somebody that's going to be about that as well. She feels like she'll find that in Brazil. Monica says her dating life, as far as the reason why she's going out of the country to get match made. Is that a proper term? While she's doing the matchmaking out of the country, she said that the guys she's experienced, they don't want to be monogamous. A lot of people didn't want to date her because she had a child, and then older men only want the next pretty thing. So she's older. She's 41. She is an athlete. She runs. She's very active. She has 37 half marathons and I think like 2 marathon medals. And so she is looking for somebody that's also athletic. And so she meets with her matchmaker, Louisa, and they do a Zoom. And so this is the day before she's going to actually go to Brazil. And so Louisa shows her a video of this guy named Bruno. And I like it. Every time I hear that name, I always think, we don't talk about Bruno. No. That's all, every time I hear that. But Bruno was handsome. And he said he's athletic. He likes to work out and, do those type of things. And he's family oriented. He's looking for a partner. And listen, when she saw Bruno, baby, she was excited. So we will see the next time that we see Monica, we'll see what happens when she and Bruno meet. But so she felt like it was a good match. Louisa says she teaches her clients how to date, how to ask the right questions and do all of those things before you start talking about or getting into sex and intimacy. It's really about like getting to know the person and getting connected and what things you should be looking for based on what your aim is, which you want to be with a partner. So she's supposed to be helping Monica find her man, and we're going to find out what Monica gets when she gets to Brazil. Okay, after then we meet Harold. I like Harold. Harold is very quirky. Harold is on the spectrum. Like I told y'all, he is the one who was already on Match Me Abroad. This is my first time watching the show. They did have a first season. A couple of the episodes was on Hulu, but not all of them. And it wasn't necessary. This is new. I mean, the concept I get. It's not. I don't need to watch the first season to go back and get that. So Harold is from Irving, Texas. He is on the spectrum, and I wonder if he had tried to find. They have a show, Love on the Spectrum, for people who with autism, to help them find love. I wonder if he's ever tried that. But what he did try was Match Me Abroad with Katarina before. He met a girl named Michaela. They had a connection, and this was leading to my point about why I wouldn't do it. He was like, once he got back into the United States, they basically lost connection and it didn't go anywhere. Now, this time, what Harold said was, okay, since me and Michaela didn't work out, he went on dating apps and he found that he got more play when he went to a different location in the dating apps. I had no clue that you could do that. I mean, I guess you're looking for people, period. So I guess you could look for somebody anywhere. So he changed his location to where he was looking for matches to Singapore, and that's where he really got, he got some action. Because of him being quirky, him being on the spectrum, he's able to relate to them more. He's into anime and things of that nature, and so a lot of the contacts he was finding on the dating apps were more into those things. So before he left, we found out that Harold was staying with his grandma. He was like, I'm too old. He's 43. He was, I'm too old to be, live with my grandma. I want to stay with somebody else. He is actually willing to move. And so I think that he is a better match for that. So if you are willing to move out of the country, then I think it probably does work better for you to get matched abroad if you are having difficulty finding love in your state or your city or whatever. Um, so he said he's willing to move to Singapore. He's willing to risk it all for love. And so he gets on that plane and he gets over to Singapore. So when he gets when he gets to Singapore, he meets his matchmaker Dolly. So remember he worked Katarina from Prague before. So Katarina connected him with Dolly. So she has kind of gotten a download from Dolly. Dolly has gotten a download from Katarina about Harold and all his kind of stuff. So Dolly met Harold at the airport. She wanted to get to know him better. So they took a cab to his hotel. And he is in this cab flirting with this lady. He is in this cab flirting with this lady. And so he asked her, how did it feel? And she said, how did what? And he said, when you fell from heaven. And she said, don't do that. I like Harold because Harold doesn't have, he's missing, the social kind of cues. So he doesn't have inhibition. So I think it's going to allow him to more so kind of show his personality and find somebody that will be into him and accept him for who he is. And he will find love. He was so funny to me. And so Dolly goes to the hotel with him because she wants to look at his clothes. Child, Harold got all kind of suspenders. He brought all his suspenders. He had I think 4 bags. She was like, did you not pack anything? He said, no, just a few things. Like, he done brought the whole house. He ready. He like, I have a majority of my stuff. I won't have to go back for a long time if I find somebody. So she comes in and she looks at his clothes and she was like, show me what you got. He was like, I got something special. And he pulls out this cashmere sweater and she said, no, sir. You were sweating in a t-shirt at the airport. Ain't no way you finna wear no cashmere sweater here in Singapore. No, it's hot. And we're gonna do away with the suspenders. We're gonna she wants him to try to blend in, not look so, I guess, so outwardly like nerdy. Because that's what he gives, like a little computer nerd. He's a radiation tech where he said he goes to like nuclear plants and is testing something to do with radiation, child. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Harold fares, just because Singapore is a Asian. I think, let me not be ignorant to say that, but I'm just wondering about the cultural and language barrier that he might meet with those particular women. So it's going to be just interesting to see. So I do like Match Me Abroad. I'm invested in Harold's story to see what he gonna have going on. Monica, I'm a little bit like, the thing with Monica is, I think Monica will be able to fool the man till she get to the house. It's gonna be when you get to the house and the man see you talking to the dog and the cat, where it's gonna be like, am I going to stay? I wonder if any of the people that they meet, for instance, like Amber or Monica, or even Harold. I know Harold said he's willing to move to Singapore, but I wonder if any of the people they meet are willing to move to the US. I wonder if that's a thing. So let me know if y'all watch Match Me Abroad. Let me know your thoughts on the review. Leave your comments down below. I will be dropping episode 2 very shortly. I gotta watch that. Y'all make sure you check out my other reviews for 1,000-pound roomies, and just my little running my mouth on topics here and there. So make sure you go check out my other content, get my other videos of view, give them a like, share them with your folks so that they can see what I got going on. Make sure you subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. We're going to move this train on up. The goal is to keep on going up. We're going to take it one step at a time. So let's get to 2K followers, and then we can hit the rest of the goals thereafter. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified the next time I come with a review, or come to run my mouth, or just come to give you a little sunshine in your day. Okay?